Guys, in this update I'm going to be just doing a bit of priming on the locomotive, getting things ready to mount the new motor and iron out some kinks. Obviously with the brass locomotive, the biggest issue we have is shorts, because everything is metal, everything is almost polarized or carrying some sort of current. So I've gone ahead and I've primed the trucks. I've closed them up and then just primed them. I don't know if you guys can see that. I couldn't do these sort of things on camera, guys. My setup doesn't allow me to do that. The primer that I've used was, I ended up settling for Tamiya surface primer. It's a metal or plastic surface primer. What I'm going to be doing is giving it several layers. As you can see, I've coated these, but this is where I had to hold on to it. So I need to go back and give it another 2 or 3 layers of coating. I haven't really done the bottom sides yet. The big thing, this is a very important step, guys. When you're doing a model, metal model or brass model, the primer is key. Not so much for the paint, yes, for the paint, but it's more for insulating everything. Everything needs to be coated in several layers of paint. If it touches anywhere or if it rubs, there needs to be enough paint on it that it insulates even when you have issues like rubbing or stuff like that. You can't just go on and put on one thick lump of paint, because that's just going to flake up. So you got to build it up gradually. What I've done with this is I've actually sprayed it cold, but the reason I did that is because it's 40 degrees where I'm at the moment, so I didn't need to warm this up. What if I didn't have the 40-degree heat outside, I would probably use a hair dryer and just heat this up a little bit. It doesn't have to be super hot, just make it a little bit hot, just so that the paint holds on or grabs to the metal a little bit better, and then just leave it to set. Another thing that I want to mention is this thing needs to be painted on the inside as well. It's almost more important to do the inside than the outside, just purely because of the paint rub. So this is the motor that was in it. Beautiful motor, beautiful motor. But the issue is I won't be able to insulate this. So if I tape this closed, this sits in way too snug in there already. So there's no clearance, right? So that's my problem. That's why I'm not going to use that. I've got a 5-pole Athens Genesis motor here, and as you can see, that one fits in there beautifully. But I've got some issues working out drive lines and stuff. So I'm gonna obviously keep using the tower, but I can't use these joints. So I'm gonna use the Athens Genesis joints, but they're too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up cutting them somewhere along those lines. And I've got makeshift plastic. It's almost like straws, but it's not straws. So I'm going to split the ends, pop them over like that, close the ends on that side, melt them in, and then just put wire across them and do the same on either side and make a makeshift. So this is probably going to be sitting at about that length. Sorry, about that length. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's probably going to be the length of my shaft right there. So I'll show you guys how I get on with that. I just wanted to show you the in-between step, because I think this is a very important step. What I've done with the trucks is I've actually used a bit of tape. Sorry, I'm off camera. What I've done with the trucks, I've actually used a bit of tape, and that's just so I can keep that insulated from paint, because you actually want that brass and shiny, because that's where your wheel pickups go. That is it for the prep work on this. I'm not going to show you any any painting in this video. It's hard for me to do the painting here, guys, so I'll continue with that. One thing that I've got another kind of grey paint that I was going to use, but I actually like this grey primer. I need to go back to my photos, my examples, and see, because I think this primer is actually a very close grey to what I need on the demonstrator. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'll keep you posted. I'm making slow progress on it. I had to resolder a little bit. I had to resolder the frame. I had a bit of drama resoldering all that back in. What I did was I just used a little steel brush in my Dremel, and I just cleaned it up, and it was easy to solder everything back together after that. Before that, it was a nightmare. I considered gluing it. It was just not gonna work. So a little bit of a tip when you're working with brass, make sure everything is clean. And when I say clean, I mean take a Dremel to it with a soft metal brush and just strip it bare. Alright guys, that's it for this one. I'll see you on the next one.